I say an audience is not a community and a community is not an audience, because an audience looks at you while the community, people just look at each other. And it's interesting to think of anything you do in your business to be an audience centric thing, because in the end, your interaction with your audience is the thing that gets monetized. But the interaction with your community is equally valuable, just in a different way. For many people who build in public or who build businesses from within communities, they effectively have two different audiences. And that's something you can actively and intentionally do and should do. You have your potential customers, right? Obviously, the people who you want to
Mhm.
sell stuff to, and you have your founder peers or your expert peers in your community. And there's an interesting dynamic between these two audiences, because if you build in public, and by building in public, I just mean you share the journey of how you built your business with the background stuff, with stuff like behind the scenes or your decision making process, experiments you run, little things you do, features you build,
Mhm.
conversations you have with customers. You just share very publicly how you attempt to turn this idea, hopefully validated through the steps I just said, into something tangible that you can build a machine, like a generator that solves the problem over and over again for more and more people, a business from, right? If you do this, then your customers will give you interesting feedback and your peers will give you interesting feedback. And often that's not the same, right? You get
Right.
founder
Right.
feedback on you should raise your prices, and your customers
Mhm.
say these prices are way too high. And now all of a sudden you have a very interesting kind of dissonance between these two. And that puts you into a great spot, because usually all you get is your prices are way too high and you don't hear anybody else talking about it. So you might
Mhm.
just lower your prices. But then your founder peer said, yes, if you can, you can do that. But if you do that, all of a sudden your customer service conversations are going to shoot through the roof, because people with high price discrimination who don't like to pay much money, they will complain more on average. That is my founder experience. And just having that second opinion gives
Mhm.
you a good reason maybe not to lower your prices, but to think about, well, why are they asking for this? What else can I give them to warrant this price? And these kind of conversations, they would never happen if you weren't sharing what you're doing in front of both audiences at the same time,
Mhm.
intentionally. So that is something that if you're building in public, or if you want to build a business from within a community, that
Mhm.
is both your customer community and your founder community. They are not often the same. They overlap in certain ways, but
Yeah.
might just be two communities at the same time. That's one of the biggest benefits that you can get.